in all honesty, it's been about 2 weeks since I've played this particular save. Over the Christmas break, I started a personal save with Crystal Palace. I've been having a lot of fun with that, and it was just a nice distraction with everything that's been going on. I had a decent amount of time off work, too, so I spent a lot of time with the family. But, it was a good holiday season. But, New Year, we're back to the save. And it's a new year in the save as well. The January transfer window is closing tonight. We are playing a very good Eintracht Frankfurt team. We're currently 7th in the Bundesliga. And our first choice goalkeeper just pulled his groin and is out for a week, minimum. My name is FM Jellicoe, and this is the Red Devils Rising. Well, if there's a couple awkward transitions, it's because I'm adjusting the noise reduction filter. My laptop seemingly has a mind of its own. It's sitting here not really running anything, but the fans have a tendency to go off at odd times. I think it's just the laptop being the laptop. We were pretty active in the January transfer window, including a couple players leaving who I was looking at moving, but maybe not this early. The biggest one being Stefano Mazzini, but we'll get to him here in a second. The first one out was Mario Arias. He went to AZ for $2.3 million. He was a youth player, striker who he was okay for us on the youth squad. They don't show his youth his youth games or the under 19 games at all. He had potential, but he really wasn't improving fast enough for my taste, and I knew he wasn't going to get any first team playing time here. Plus, I've got a lot of youngsters. One of the things I've done in this save is I've gone out, I've spent an inordinate amount of time and not a little bit of money for some really good youth prospects. Now, whether or not they turn out remains to be seen, and frankly, we probably never will, seeing as how the save is going to end in about maybe 16 episodes or so. Another 2 seasons probably. I think that's what we talked about. But AZ came in, made a offer for him, and I was happy for him to go. I've got a decent amount of striker depth and advanced midfielders who can play striker in a pinch if I need them to. Berger Nygaard went to Darmstadt 98 on loan. Defensive right back. He just needed first team playing time. With Maga Hollis and a couple of the other players I have, he wasn't going to get it. And I didn't want to leave him on the under 23s, the B squad, because they just don't have a ton of organized matches. I wanted to get him first team playing time. And Darmstadt came asking about him, and I said, yeah, sure. Man City made an unsolicited offer for Stefano Mazzini, and he completely jumped at it. And I understand why. It's Man City. And it's one of the things in the game that I've talked about before in other saves, especially as you get further into your save, as your team goes up in reputation and the like. The teams that start the game with big reputations seem to keep it no matter how poorly they're doing. Man City could be in League One for crying out loud, and if they came asking about Mazzini, he would jump all over it because they're Man City and their reputation is high. But he had a very solid career for us. We would not have gotten to the Bundesliga without him. We would not have stayed in the Bundesliga without him, even though he allowed in 2 goals a game. Here, he still had a 7.42, which is absolutely phenomenal. He had 3 players of the match. He was a really good pickup for us. We got him on a free. We turned around and sold him for 9.5, going to 11.25, I want to say, based on appearances. Now it's possible, or 11.75. Now it's possible we may never see all of that money because I believe they still have Ederson in goal. And he's 31. He's getting up there, but 31 is not a bad age for a keeper. That's actually probably right in the sweet spot for a keeper. But unless he's planning on leaving, and it doesn't look like he is because he's contracted until 30-28, Mazzini is going to be the first backup there. And it seems to be what they're playing him as. And probably like the cup starter or the weaker team starter, I would imagine. So this is a good move for us, I think. Cheer Decker is my youth keeper. He's got a ton of potential. He needs first team playing time, but he's not going to get it today because he pulled his groin literally yesterday, and he's out for a week. And then Logan Pye went to Union Berlin on a loan. He is a defensive left back I brought in, English, very good. He just needs playing time, and Union Berlin came in, offered to pay 80% of his salary, give him an important player contract, so he's going to get all the starts at Union Berlin for the rest of the season. On the ins, a lot of these are mostly youth players, but like I said, we're planning for the future here, even though we may not be playing in the future here. I'll probably continue this offline like I do a lot of my other saves like this. So first in, Lukas Kuhns from Halle for 300,000 euros. Defensive center back, 17 years old, 1.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. I like him because of the 20 determination and the 16 balance and the 16 tackling and the 12 marking and the 13 heading. Now the 9 jumping reach is a bit of a bummer. He's only 5'10". Debating whether or not I can make him a central midfielder, but that depends on how well his physicals come up. If he had a little bit more acceleration and a little bit more agility and a little bit more pace, I think he would make a very good deep lying playmaker. As it is, he may be a defensive midfielder, but I don't play defensive midfielders. So for the time being, he's a central defender on defend. He's got a lot of room for improvement. And I think with the right amount of training and the right training, he can definitely reach that. Mike Kraus comes to us from Jena for 1.5 million. He is a youth player, 18 years old, advanced midfield on the right, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Physically, he is really, really good. He's really, really good in the acceleration and agility department, I should say. He's also got a decent amount of pace and a decent amount of stamina. His natural fitness is nice, so he can run for days. He's got decent technical skills for a person his age. Mentally, I like the 19 determination. The 4 positioning really needs to be worked on, I think. His 15 passing and 15 technique can more than make up for that, I think. And the 11 first touch is nice. He'd be a starter if we were in the 3 Bundesliga still. But as it is, he is going to be on the under-19 teams. I tried loaning him out. No one really picked him up. Well, I take that back. I tried loaning him out, and the teams that wanted him on a fringe player contract. And I would much rather he get playing time on the under-19s full-time than sitting on a bench more often than not. I suspect in probably 2 or 3 seasons, he could very well be our advanced midfielder on the right. He also plays a very good midfielder. He's a good Mazzala and a decent box-to-box midfielder. But I'm wondering if deep line playmaker isn't where he could excel, especially if some of these skills here, like the decision-making, composure, anticipation, and vision, really come up. So that remains to be seen. Yannick Flessner comes to us from Holstein Kiel. He is another youth player, 16 years old, 1-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Holstein Kiel, I want to say, is a 3 Bundesliga team still. No, they're in the Bundesliga too. Okay. Well, I must be thinking of another Holstein, which is entirely possible. But he was one of those youth players that I scouted, and I brought him in on trial. Holstein let him come to us on trial. I liked what I saw. I inquired how much it would cost to get him. They said 300,000 euros, or 350,000 euros, I should say. And frankly, that's not a bad deal, I think, for a 16-year-old who physically is already, he's got a 16 natural fitness, so these other ones are going to come up. Mentally, he's really solid. The 4 leadership and 5 positioning and the 4 concentration, those are a bit of a bummer, but you can work on those, especially when you got at least 4 or 5 years before he could see potential first-team playing time. The aggression's nice, the bravery's nice, the decision-making, determination, flair are adequate, the off-the-ball is nice, the work rate's nice. 12 technique, 11 passing already. Technically, yeah, he needs some help in a few areas, but not the areas that are specific to his position. Now, they're calling him a winger here, but he's also a very decent striker. Now, they have him as a pressing forward on defend, which with the concentration and the composure, on the strength, maybe. But I think if you were to make him maybe like a deep lying forward on support, especially if you get the finishing and first touch up and the composure up, he'd be very, very good there. He could also be a decent target man. He's 6 foot, and he may actually grow a little bit. I wouldn't make him an advanced forward unless his physicals came up a little bit more in certain areas. But again, one of those players with a decent amount of potential, who for frankly 350,000 euros I think is a good risk. Conor Gallagher has the one player we spent the most amount of money on. He comes to us from Chelsea for 4.4 million euros. They had him transfer listed by request. He is a midfielder who's also capable of playing advanced midfielder, defensive midfielder, and midfielder left and midfielder right. He's one of those guys who is Back in the day, we would have called them lunchbox guys. They come in, they know what they're supposed to do, they do it without complaint or fuss. And he's so far done a really good job for us. In 2 games, he's had 2 assists and has done really, really well. Physically, he is very, very good. Mentally, he is very, very good. Technically, he's not bad. I mean, when a 8 corner, 8 heading, 6 long throw, 9 marking, and 7 penalty taking are your only single-digit numbers there, he's one of those midfielders who can play every position. As George goes nuts, he's one of those players who can play every position. Normally, I would say equally poorly, but this time it's equally well, just based on the attributes he has. He's 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He kind of bounced around. He could never find a starting spot on Chelsea, which kind of makes sense because they're a very strong team in the save. But he had decent loan spells at Charlton and Swansea. He had a really good loan spell at West Brom, and then for whatever reason, West Brom didn't sign him, or they made no move for him. They turned around and loaned him out to Norwich for a half season. He came to Mainz, and that's where he first popped up for me, and was really good there. 5 goals, 5 assists, 1 player of the match in 34 appearances. Then he went to Famalicão. Is that in Portugal? That is in Portugal. And had an okay season there. 26 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists. But the Chelsea midfield's crowded, and he was never going to see any playing time here. He comes in, and he's going to be part of the starting rotation, no problem. Aurelian Nigwamba comes to us from Anderlecht, 26 years old, was transfer listed by request. Defensive midfielder, but he's going to be playing ball-playing defender more often than not for us as part of a defensive center-back rotation. He's also a pretty capable midfielder. Physically, he's solid. Mentally, again, solid. Technically, solid where it counts. The 16 tackling is nice, as is the 14 passing, 12 marking, 13 technique. 5'10", 156 pounds, so he's not a huge aerial threat. Again, 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. One of those who knows his role and could do very well. Cannot play for more than 2 teams in 1 season. Did I miss something there? I totally did. He started out at Claremont. I went to Anderlecht for 3.4 million. Anderlecht turned around and sold him to us for 3. That would be 3 seasons. I can't play him this season. Okay, that's on me. Jesus. And last but certainly not least, Ibrahim Al-Arami from Dhofar, which I want to say is in Qatar. No, it's the Omani Professional League. He popped up on a scouting report, and I'm not quite sure why. Football Manager does this from time to time. They'll pop up players from countries that you wouldn't normally expect. I think one of the reasons he popped up was because of his international appearances. He has 16 caps and 5 goals for the Omani squad. He's 18 years old, 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, attacking midfielder and center, can also play striker and midfielder. I picked him up because, frankly, at 18 years old, he is a pretty good player, technically and mentally, for his position. And one of the things I'm looking at next season is switching formations up a little bit out of the 4-4-2 into something that requires an attacking midfielder, or having a secondary formation that requires an attacking midfielder, but where I can also potentially play him as a backup at striker or at midfield if I need to. Physically, the strength is a little lacking, so is the jumping reach, but at 5'8", 147 pounds, you kind of expect that. Mentally, he's solid across the board. The work rate's a little bit on the low side, but I think we can get that up. Technically, he's solid. I realize I'm saying solid a lot, but the fact of the matter is, it's true. 11 dribbling, 12 finishing, 14 first touch, 15 long shots, 13 passing, 12 penalty taking, 15 technique, and those could probably only go up. The nice thing is he is an international player, so there's some skill there. There would have to be some skill there. Whether or not it's Bundesliga level skill, I don't know. But I think paying 400,000 euros to find out is a risk, but it's an acceptable risk. So that said, today we're going to play Eintracht Frankfurt in our Bundesliga game. They're currently in 9th. We're currently in 7th. Hamburg is our DFB Pokal third round match. We're going to play them. Let's take a look at the team here, at least this part. The league table is a little bit messed up on the skin at the moment. It's only reporting home games. But if you go here, it'll show you everything. So in our 19 games played, we are currently in 7th place. 9 wins, 2 draws, 8 losses, 29 points, 38 goals for, 36 goals against. William Gobbles leads us with 15 goals and a 7.25 rating. Nabil Tawazi and Marco de Graca each with 5 assists. Jamelka the best pass completion rating. Gobbles and Marco de Graca 3 players of the match awards. No red cards. I just totally said that out loud. Watch us get red carded here. And of course, Cheerjacker, a pulled groin. So we're going to have Drew starting in goal today. And this is the team we are starting today. We got Drews in goal, Rainieri, Vesger, Jamelka, and Magahalis as the defensive back four, Gallagher and Gennaro as the midfielders, rather. Held and Tawazi as the attack midfielders, De Graca and Gubble up top as the strikers. Schaub sends it in. It's knocked away. Sal's going to run it down for Eintracht Frankfurt. He cuts left. In the corner, crosses it in. It's knocked away by Rainieri. Gennaro knocks it forward to Gubbles. He drives between the defenders, taps up to De Graca, one-on-one with the keeper, but Grabara, a very nice save, actually, and just blocks it left. Gennaro on the corner. Tries getting out to Gubbles, but Sal just bangs that away. Magahalis grabs that, and I need to fix these real quick. These are the Michael Murray in-game match screens. They're an add-on that you can add to any skin, basically. They're very customizable. It's one of the things I like about them. So, like here, you got your shots, you got your formation, the Eintracht Frankfurt formation, their roster, how they're doing, our roster, how we're doing the attacks. And it's all very, very customizable. So it's a very nice addition. Michael Murray has done great work for FM for years, and this is just another addition. Sal again knocks away. Magahalis grabs it. Taps out to Rainieri. Held to Gallagher, to De Graca, back to Held. One-on-one with the keeper, and he takes the shot right at him. I think that's youth showing there. Gennaro taps it to Held on the short kick. He's dispossessed. It's a throw-in. Mori on the throw-in for Eintracht Frankfurt. To Schaub. Dispossessed by Gennaro. Up to De Graca, but it's headed forward. Gallagher just bangs it forward. Can De Graca get there? He can. Takes the shot. Grabara, very nice save. Gennaro. That's knocked away. Mori's going to grab it. He cuts right. Driving forward. Holds it up. Oh, he's dispossessed by Rainieri. Very good defensive play by Rainieri. And Fulkrug? Wow. How do you pronounce that? Fulkrug. Headed it over the crossbar. Take. Sends it in. Sal's there. Off and Drews it in. What the heck happened there? What the heck happened there? Sal just headed it. Drew's got a hand on it, but couldn't stop it from going in. That's a bit of a bummer. Oh, we're only 15 minutes in. Someone was penalty. Oh, it was a handball from just outside the box. Gallagher curls it around the wall and in for a goal. Well struck. His first goal for us. Dragaca's got a tight thigh. We'll take him off and bring on Montano. Magahalis to Gennaro. Centers it to Gallagher. Up to Tawazi. Takes the shot. Just misses the far post. And we are going into halftime with a 1-all draw. 7 shots, 6 on target for us. 2-2 for Eintracht Frankfurt. Oh, kickoff highlight. Take. It's either take or take. I'm pretty sure it's take. Oh, Agu gets the carom. To Sal. Back to Agu. Montano dispossesses him. Gets it up to Tawazi. Magahalis. Gennaro to Gallagher. Gallagher pushing forward. Gubbles. Dispossessed. Orban sends it back to Grabara. He gets it to Agu. Up to Reichel. He heads it down to take. Held steps in front of that cross. Rainieri sends it up to Gubbles, who was waiting behind the defenders. Oh, gets a chance. Grabara blocks it. Gulls can't get the second shot. Omoragic to Valeri. Up to take. To Schaub. Up into space. Mori runs on it. Passes up for Reichel. Very nice pass. Drews, for whatever reason, stopped his challenge. Let's get it back, guys. Magahalis to Gubbles. Loses the ball. Orban bangs it forward. Jamelka heads it down. Gallagher ends up with it. Gennaro to Held. Montno, and he kicks it high and right. We're about 60 minutes in the game. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to take Held and move him to inverted winger on the right. We're going to take Twazi and move him up to advance forward. We're going to take Gubbles and move him to inside forward on the attack. Montno, we're going to make a complete forward on support. We're going to bring on Martins Federski for Ranieri at defensive left back. It's one thing that's bugging me. It says he's waiting, disappointed with how the promise is progressing. But when I go to my coaching here and I look at promises, I'm not seeing what I promised Federski. So if I go to players, I don't know what I promised him. I'm wondering if it's not a contract-related thing. We'll find out here. Confirm those. Bejker to Gennaro. Up into space. Gubbles can't handle it. Valeri stops it from going out of bounds. Gives it up to Morey. Gallagher takes the ball away. Well done. And we give the ball right back. However, Gennaro heads it down to Montno. He gets it to Twazi, who's dispossessed by Saab. Twazi gets it back. Held. Back to Gennaro. Out to Swiderski. In the box. Crosses it. Gubbles is there. Off. That wasn't Grabara. That was the 34 that knocked it out. Gennaro on the corner kick to Gubbles. Dispossessed by Valeri. He just kicks it out of bounds. That was a bit dangerous. 80 minutes. Federski on the throw into Gubbles. Twazi can't turn on it. Fulkrug is going to get there before anyone else in a Kaisersalutern uniform will. He holds it up, passes it back to Agu, and the highlight ends. 4 minutes left. I don't think we're going to do it. Magahalis was on a 6-2. My defensive back line was just not doing... there's more than a few people have talked about how the ratings seem to be off for the defenders. And we lose 2-1 thanks to a Reichel goal in the 51st minute that put them ahead. Gallagher, though, had a very good penalty kick. That was not how I wanted to get the second half of the season started. I agree with the people who are upset. De Graca is out for 1 to 3 days. That is okay. He will be back for the Pokal game, and so will we. We are playing Hamburg, and it should be a pretty good one. Back in a bit. Well, today we are playing Hamburg in our Pokal match, and they're not a very good squad this year. Well, they're 18th in the Bundesliga. They're in the relegation zone, so they're not a good Bundesliga team, but they're still capable of surprising you, so we're going to have to take them seriously. This is the squad we're starting to get today. We got Drews in goal because Decker's still out for another couple of days. Ranieri, Bejker, Jamelka, and Magahalis are the defensive back four. Gallagher and Skip are the midfielders. Gubbles and Twazi are the attack midfielders. De Graca and Montno up top as the strikers. Bracalo to Opuku. Dispossessed by Skip, but he gets it back. Kinsambe gets it to Mata, who gives it away to De Graca. That was a bad pass. Twazi breaking forward, goes outside. He's got help, but he's not going to use it. Instead, he's going to be dispossessed. Damata ends up with the ball. He gives the ball away to Bejker. Taps up to Gubbles, to Gallagher, to Montno. Back to Skip, over to Gubbles. De Graca to Skip. A lot of players around the ball, but somehow they get it to Montno and he scores. There were like 4 Kaiserslautern players around the ball at one point in time. Like right there. Yeah. It was a very good pass, though, through a bunch of traffic. Montno, a very nice goal, his 7th of the season. He's been a surprisingly good pickup for us. And I have to change these real quick. Well, the next time those come up, we will change those. Magahalis on the throw-in. Tawazi. Crosses it in, and Gubbles heads it over the crossbar. I don't remember what I had them at exactly in the last match, but we'll go with this. Magahalis on the throw-in. Tawazi completely muffs it. Skip, however, manages to rattle Diamata enough he heads it into space. Tawazi to Muntno. Back to Magahalis. Skip. Centers it to Gallagher. Back to Skip. To DeGraca. To Gallagher. To Muntno. DeGraca out to Gubbles. Crowd at center. Tawazi takes the shot, but he curls it right. Magahalis on the throw-in to Skip. Back to Magahalis. Well, DeGraca got in front of it. Ball bounces back and forth. Skip finally gets a foot on it. Gallagher to Muntno. DeGraca. Tawazi takes the shot. Fernandez blocks it. Nari knocks it away. And the highlight ends. Opoku on the corner kick. Somehow Young gets a head on the... Maybe he volleyed it. I don't know. Somehow he gets the ball in the back of the net. That was... Wow. He just stepped right in front of Jamelka and headed it right past Drews. That was disappointing. And I just encouraged the guys, too. Jeez. Skip's having a not so good day. Nari to Yada. Back to Young. Back to Rukowski. He sends it forward. Diamata can't handle it. Drews picks it up. Long pass towards DeGraca. To Gubbles. Gets by his defender. I don't know what the heck that was, but that was very, very ugly. He was pressing a bit too much, I believe. Drews taps it to Jamelka. Back to Drews. Jamelka to Drews. Up to Skip. Over to Gallagher. Out to Gubbles on the left. He cuts inside. To DeGraca, who hits the post. That was a nice shot and was just a little bit, well, a lot unlucky at the end of it. That would have been a very nice goal. Fernandez on the goal kick. Bangs it forward. Yada heads it down to Ostrich. To Neri. Diamata. Or Dimata, I should say. Yada. Baseline. Off the crossbar. Opoku runs it down. Dimata is there. Challenged by Bedger. Finally knocked away. Bejger, I should say. I'm still planning on doing this Eastern European journeyman save, and I just know the name pronunciations alone are going to be completely worth it. 65 minutes in. Ranieri's not had the best game, so we'll bring Flikioli in. Skip hasn't had the best game either, so we'll bring Gennaro on, make him the deep line playmaker. I think those are the only two subs we will make for the moment. It appears we are not headed for extra time. Bacallo to Diamata. Centers it. Schaff is there, but he pushes it wide left. We are in extra time. We are going to have to get Tawazi off, because not only is he knackered, but he's injured. Who do I want to bring on, though? We are going to bring on Zadis. Flikioli to Gennaro. To Muntno. To Graca. Tawazi. To... Oh, DeGraca hit it off the post. Sent in. DeGraca's there and he scores. Well struck, Marco. Zadis and DeGraca just out jumps the defender to head it in far post. Bacallo. Ball's knocked away, but Kuchno's going to run it down. Kind of lackadaisical about it. But he gets by one defender. Kinsambe. Back to Kuchno. To Onana. Back to Kinsambe. Kuchno. Ostrich to Diamata. And Drews a nice stop. Corner kick for Hamburg. Bacallo sends it in. Knocked away. Kuchno gets it to Young. Bangs it back out to left. Bacallo centers it. Ostrich there, but it's knocked away. DeGraca to Gubbles. Up to DeGraca. That doesn't really have a lot of help. He's going to hold it up. He's going to be dispossessed by Kinsamba. He's going to bang it forward to Ozturk, but Bezker's there. Nice first touch from the defensive center back. But the highlight ends. That was kind of annoying. Ambrosius sends the ball, but it's knocked away. Onana has it. He gets the ball out to Bracalo. He centers it in, but it was a poor cross. Kinsambe to Bracalo again. And Schaff is there in the equalize. Son of a gun. What the heck happened there? Kinsambe got it out to Bracalo again, and Schaff just broke through. Guys, it's annoying as hell. Ambrosius. Schaff. Back to Ambrosius. Onana. Demata. Oh, good God. Oh, what the hell was that? That was them offsides. Whoa, did we get a lucky break there. We got FM'd and so did they. Boy, if it comes down to De Graca, we're... Okay, let's go. Demata. Come on, Drews. And he bangs it past Drews, who didn't really appear to move. Gubbles. And he kicks it the same place and scores. Well done. Ozturk. And Drews guessed right, but he was too slow. Zadis, who's a very good penalty kick taker. I think taking him off was, bringing him on was the right thing to do, and he almost missed that there. Good grief. Onana. Who didn't even hesitate, just walked over the ball and banged it in. I think Drews was caught a little bit flat-footed there. No. And he also bangs it in. It is coming down to Grok and Kinsambe. He missed, pushed it wide left. Jamelka. He scores. We are 1 up. Bracalo scores. But if De Graca scores, we win. Come on, Marco. So, of course, it's going to be the slow walk. Fun times. And we win in a kick-out that should have never happened. Okay. Hamburg took us to the wire. You can be demotivated, but I was right. Twazi, bruised ankle, out for a couple of days. Jagraka did perform well. Wow. Come back for the quarterfinal and then Hamburg again? That's really kind of a bummer. Well, we'll definitely be back for the quarterfinal. We'll figure it out from there. But a bummer we lost at Eintracht Frankfurt. Gallagher had a very nice goal off the free kick / penalty kick, but we just could not seal the deal on it. And it's after coming off the RB Leipzig loss, that was kind of annoying as well. I totally forgot to go over these games. In January, it completely slipped my mind. We had a friendly at Lecce, which was just a tune-up more than anything else. Against Hertha, we beat them 2-1. Leipzig was a good match until the second half when they absolutely turned it on. They had 3 goals, including an FM goal in the 94th minute, which makes the score look a lot worse than it actually was. It was 4-3, and it was a well-deserved 4-3 for them. Sabitzer was absolutely on fire. Goebbels matched him almost goal for goal, but we couldn't get it done in the end. They had 31 shots, 14 on target. Decker this was his first real big start after Mazzini left, was absolutely solid between the sticks. And we had 8 shots, 6 on target, so technically, from a statistical point of view, we were better, but Leipzig just ran us back and forth. We did really good to hang with them, but the Sabitzer goal in the 65th minute and then the Vargas goal in the 94th minute was just salt in the wound more than anything else. Then we had the game against Eintracht Frankfurt, which we played here and lost, and then the 2-2 draw with the penalty kick win, thanks to a miss on the Hamburg player's part. But the press says we have been mathematically eliminated from a relegation battle. So that is very, very good. We're on 29 points, and that makes sense because Cologne has 13 and Hamburg only has 4. The next up is 16, and then goes 21. So I think we're challenging for mid-table. This here is European football. 5th and 6th spots are Euro Cup group stages games, and then the 7th is Euro Cup 2 playoffs. So if we, maybe we can finish in 7th place. That would be nice. And the prize money just absolutely went through the roof. That is almost Premier League level prize money. Wow. Okay. So, good job Bundesliga. So, that's the plan. We're going to try and stay 7th place, and it's going to be tough. There's a bunch of teams that are kind of hovering around us, nipping at our heels from Stuttgart on up. So, chances are we could finish 7th place or higher. Chances are we could finish 13th as well. So, but the season's going well. We got 14 games left, and I like how we're set up. And then the future does look bright, too. This scheduling is just interesting. So, we'll be back in a little bit with the next Pokal match and go from there. But if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM21, and I thank you for watching.